So now that Ohio has voted to legalize recreational marijuana, what happens next? Well, here's a timeline for you. In 30 days on December 7th, issue 2 will be law. It takes effect. So that's when adults 21 and over will be allowed to possess marijuana or grow their own plants. Buying it, though, may take a little longer. In fact, it could be a year from now. And here's why. Right now, Ohio's medical marijuana program is regulated by the Ohio Department of Commerce, and expanding the department's duties will take several months. And with that in mind, we know that the people have spoken. That's what happens on Election Day. Now it's time really to build up the infrastructure, because this isn't going to happen overnight. Sure. They've got to facilitate the new law. That will certainly be a process. We asked our viewers, what would you do to possibly tweak the law the way it stands? And Stephanie Haney is here with some of those responses. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Lena. Hi, Christy. You know, we got a ton of responses on this, a lot of reactions to this question. People were not thinking about infrastructure, though. They're just thinking about the nuts and bolts of this thing, because almost everyone, when we take a look at these responses, said, don't change it. That's what Albert Aikens says. He says the people voted for it, now leave it alone, because we've been hearing a lot of politicians talking about possibly changing it. Now, Brandon Delph took it a step further and said, whoever tries to change it will not get Brandon's vote in the future. So a lot of people are still clearly very nervous about their access to adult use cannabis in the state of Ohio. Now, Keith Hill said he would make it all happen faster. So a little bit of infrastructure conversation there. He says he wants to be effective right away so Ohio can start collecting taxes and help Ohio schools. Now, if we look in the 3 News in the Afternoon Facebook group, John Giltner brings up something that Isabel was talking about. He said he would change the tax structure. He wants more money to be available for law enforcement, because he is concerned about traffic crashes and people driving impaired, and he wants police to have the resources necessary to find people who are driving high. Now, the tax structure thing is what Republican Lee Weingart talked with me about yesterday during our streaming special. He believes that that's going to be doubled. He thinks that's going to bump up to 20%. Right now it's at 10%. So that's his prediction for what our legislature will do there.
Well, that could...
It's GOP controlled. So yeah, that he is signaling that probably will happen.
That could push the tax revenue up towards $1 billion. Because right now the estimates could go as high as $400 million if you double that 10% to 20%. One of the things that I think we're probably going to be doing here at 3 News in the coming weeks and months is taking a look at how other states, Colorado and Washington were 2 of the first, they now have, it's been legal there long enough where they know what the ramifications have been. What happens to crime? What happens to automobile accidents? How that tax money has been used and how it's benefited the state. It'll be interesting to look at those states and see what we're in store for here. And I'm sure we'll be doing that in the coming weeks.
That is a great idea for an investigation, and I hope that our team gets on it. I would really love to see our investigative team. We've got a member of that team sitting right here with us right now, Lena Lai.
She's on.
I would love to see that comparison over time, and, you know, hopefully that will be informative for what we do here in Ohio.
Well, yeah, because whatever they do, there were probably some things they did that didn't work.
There were missteps, and we can learn from those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
I can tell you right now, everybody has a different argument as far as fatalities, crash fatalities.
Sure.
There is research on both sides.
Sure, you can twist numbers. That's what's it's so hard about that. You can look at numbers in a lot of different ways. I think I'm more interested to see what has the benefit been of the increased tax money.
Sure.
So we'll look into that.
Very good.
Where it goes.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks,
Great
Steph.
stuff.
Thanks, Steph. That was great. Great job last